Hello everyone, this is Jess from J Rose Alchemic Art, and welcome back to another video. In this one, I am actually going to be having my latest convention, which was QuadCon, and going over all of the details, the setup, preparation, all that fun stuff, kind of figuring out the night before, but ended up being okay. So hopefully you guys are interested in this one, but we'll get started right away. Okay, hello friends. It is technically a few days later since I have last vlogged, but I thought I would go over some of the things that I did manage to get done over the last couple of days. Really, I did not do much because I worked and then I got really tired, and I tried to do a lot of my schoolwork, which, let me tell you, informatics is unfortunately not for me. I'm not a fan of some of the homework, but I'm like almost halfway through the first big thing, so that's something at least, but I still gotta do like a big paper and I'm not looking forward to that. But anyway, I thought that I would go over and talk about some of the things that I did manage to get finished recently. So I did, now that I had, technically I got off yesterday morning, so I actually spent some time with my dad and was checking in with him, but we hung out, watched some TV, and then I got to get some of my enamel pins all ready for obviously when they're going to be out and displayed, so that's exciting. I still technically need to round the corners, but I have a good feeling. It seems like it's going to be snowing quite hard, unfortunately, this weekend, or at least tonight and maybe a little bit tomorrow morning as well. So, while that is unfortunate, I think that, yeah, it is what it is. At least we'll be inside. It's inside of a mall, so that's totally fine. 1 second. Rinsey. Okay. So yeah, I did manage to get enamel pins done, and I am very grateful that there are a couple of extras, so I think these will probably last me for a while anyway, because I got 50 of each. And then I still have the jumbo pins too, which I don't know how that's going to go as far as selling, but at least they're there and they're available in case anyone wants them. So I hope that there's at least a little bit of interest. And then I did manage to go through, oh my gosh, Prince. Hold on 1 second. Sorry about that. I did manage to go through and cut all of my new stickers, so I will do a full display of those here in a little bit. But yeah, I think that those came out very cute. Obviously they have all of the sparkly vinyl on them, and yeah, let me show off. Well, I'll do like a broad, like this did take me about an hour and a half, almost 2 hours, but I did manage to get through a lot of stickers, so okay. And then I do also have the new little fantasy mascot sticker sheet as well, so that looks very fun too. But yeah, I put a lot of time and effort into this. I think that Prince is very interested in the Valentine's Day box that I have on the table here. I am so sorry. Okay, so I did start to work on my display planning a little bit. And yeah, this is just the standard booth setup right here now. The only problem is the mall potentially does have a height restriction now. So I am going to actually have to measure to make sure that this is under 6 feet. Because if it's not, then I might have to tear maybe the top layer off. Or maybe just bring it down by a layer and see what happens, which it's fine either way. But yeah, it'll just be interesting to see what happens here. But I also have my new display for my keychains right over there. And yeah, I just want to kind of plan out exactly how everything is going to look now that we have some new things that are coming along. So yeah, we're just going to see how. So yeah, after measurement, I definitely exceeded the 6 feet range. So what I'll probably end up doing is tearing down these middle sections. Sorry, my hand is focusing more on the camera there. And yeah, just bring those two sections out and then bring everything down. And I think that'll still look okay, but we'll just have to see what happens, so bear with me. So I brought everything down by a level, and I don't know, I'm just not, it just feels so tiny now. I don't know. I just can't really get used to it, and I'm wondering if maybe I can technically lower the level of the table, but I have a feeling it would be too short, and then like if I'm sitting behind my chair, behind the table obviously, then it's not going to, for one, I'll probably be too tall for it, and which is really saying something, but for two, it would just look kind of weird. So I'm just gonna really hope that I don't happen to get one of the spaces that requires that the table be under 6 feet, and if it does happen, then this is just the setup that we'll go with, and we'll hope for the best. But for now, I really do need to start like planning out the rest of the display, so that's what I'm going to start working on here now. So, have a general idea figured out, I think. Still subject to change, but at least we have a good idea. So, clay items will still be displayed over here on the side. I still need to finish a couple of them, so gotta get on that. But do have whole sticker display will be here. I did not bring all of them down because I knew that was going to be a lot of work to put it all out and then put it back together again. Do have the plushies and the pillows here. What I think I'm going to end up doing, I think what I want is to maybe like hole punch these, and then I can also display them along with the rest of the keychains and everything. So yeah, I think that'll be kind of a fun way to just be able to display them. And then the former, oh my gosh, sorry, it's gonna get to me, I'll fix it later. Anyway, the former display of where the enamel pins and the acrylic oh my gosh, the acrylic pins were, is actually now where the mystery bags and the buttons are gonna be. And then this is still the same prints, and there are sticker sheets, sticker books, and bookmarks in the back there. So yeah, I think it's coming together. Still a lot of work to do, but I at least think I have an idea of what I want. And I've kind of gotten used to this. I'll probably still just try and see really quick if I can fit a chair back there and how it'll look. But overall, I think it's okay. I think the one sad thing is that chair, if I'm sitting down, it'll be totally fine. You can still see me pretty well while I'm sitting there. But a lot of times I do like to stand up and just kind of like get my legs moving and everything. So I think that'll be kind of sad because my face, well, like if I walk up to it, yeah, like I'm holding you guys kind of like right in front of my face. Obviously, if I were to stand up, and I'm not tall enough to like peer over this particular area. So yeah, being under 6 feet is kind of sad, but it is what it is. There's not much you can really do about it, but if I don't have to worry about that, that would be even better. So we'll see what happens. Chaos of the night before packing, but it's not too bad actually. Honestly, I don't have all the products out because that's probably going to be a bulk of it, but obviously the main things we're grabbing are the chair, all the display things, and I actually, since the convention isn't too far away, question mark, I'm going to try and see what happens if I leave these up and just transport them in the car. I have a feeling they're still going to break down while I'm moving them in, but we're going to try and see what happens, so who knows. And then obviously we have best buddies, Prince and Caesar, helping along as well. But I'll see you guys. I might show one last clip of like this space before I set up, and then probably after, because it's just me doing it. So she may not be perfect, but she does fit. Yeah, it may have been a bad idea to do this whole setup with just leaving the display grids intact, but you know, we're gonna figure it out. It'll be fine. I actually don't have room for the wagon anymore, so it is sitting up front with me. But again, hopefully, you know, once we get this all configured, obviously I won't need to bring all of these boxes tomorrow, so that'll leave a lot more space, and obviously the tables and the chair will all be ready and set up, so it'll just be the products, which is good. But anyway, first we actually have to get there, so fingers crossed, all goes well, and there's no issues with getting set up by myself. So, we got this. How in the world did I get this full space? Oh my gosh. Little friends. So, coming back on very briefly, I really need to like head to bed soon actually. It's almost, it is past 11 o'clock. I have to be up early, but regardless, I do want to go ahead and make these jumbo Spooky Time and enamel pin backing cards, because I really don't have anything else to put the pins on, and I'd rather not have them just be kind of free floating on the display. So the idea was to at least have something, and I think what I'm going to end up doing is, yeah, I think this should just about fit. Yep, okay. So yeah, obviously, as it is now, this is too large, but I'm going to end up actually cutting this down, and then the enamel pin will go right in the middle here. And I just used my thermal label printer actually to do this, and I mean, it's not perfect per se, but it does work, and it looks fairly decent, hopefully. I do like that I had drawn like my little ghosties and everything, and they don't actually have any face or like no bodies, just their little eyes and a little bit of their mouth, which is kind of funny to me, but that's fine. But yeah, just something simple, so I'm not even gonna make that many. I think I only made like 10 of them, just in case there is any interest. I'm not 100% certain that there even will be, but hey, at least we made the effort. Well, we have a couple of each of the jumbo enamel pins, and I think that actually, like, having them all together like this, they look pretty cool actually. So while they may not be perfect, and you know, obviously this was all from a measuring mistake, they're here to stay now, and I hope that I can sell some of them at least. We'll see if there's any luck this weekend, but I still don't know. But anyway, I am really tired and I really need to go to bed, so I think I'm gonna go ahead and get ready for that, because I need to get up early and then get the car all packed, and then get ready to head out. So yeah, I'll see you guys in the morning when we're getting ready to Tetris everything in the car again. All set up. I don't even know what to do. All my clay stuff is pretty much gone. But I did buy these, so that's pretty cool. Yeah, I've been cleared out on a lot of stickers, a lot of clay stuff, and a lot of keychains, and enamel pins. The Ghost Cat enamel pin is going very well, actually.
Is your card?
Yes, it is.
Am I collecting my book?
I do the same thing. You're totally fine. Oh, thank you. Oh, yeah. I was going to say they're sparkly vinyl, too, so.
Oh, that's right.
Yes. Yes.
A bonus.
Take that for you. And then I think it'll ask if you want a receipt here. Okay, thank you so much. Hi. How are you guys? Good. Yeah, technically did not do much filming today. It's about 6:30. It's only half an hour left of the show. But basically it was like back-to-back sales the whole time. So I did at least manage to eat, so that's exciting. But yeah, this is definitely like the best that I've ever done on a show. So very cool. I am like almost sold out of all of my clay things though, so I'm gonna hopefully try and restock later tonight, but we'll see what happens. Already tearing down a little bit, but this is one last look at the booth. Honestly, you sold out quite a bit, but it's a good thing. Hello. It is several hours after the convention ended for the day, but I had to help my fiance with his homework and then drive him to work. So it's like past 11 p.m. now, and I'm so tired. But it was a super successful day. I don't know if the clips that I I really honestly didn't have much time to record just because it was like pretty much back-to-back sales for several hours. And there were a lot of people that came up and talked to me and said hi, and there were like so many sweet people that I really had a good day today, and it was just fun chatting with everyone, honestly. I really enjoyed the people that were next to me to the left. They're actually, I believe, kind of a video game reseller and what have you, but super nice people, and they actually purchased some of their Final Fantasy fans, so they bought some of the stickers and sticker sheets, or I'm sorry, and one of the art prints. And then the man that was across from me was a comic book seller, and he was also very nice, and we were both kind of soloing the show. So if he went on a break, I would watch his table, and if I went on one, then he would watch mine. So it's very nice, especially when you don't really know, like, when is it safe to go take a break or go use the bathroom or things like that. So that was really helpful. But yeah, all around just super nice people. Thank you so much to everyone that did stop by and bought so many things. I'm pretty much cleared out of most of my clay items, and a couple sticker sheets and a couple stickers as well, actually. I thought I would be okay to not make as many of some designs, and turns out I was wrong. I should have made more, but that's totally okay. It's a good problem to have. But yeah, today I think I made more money in one day than I have ever made even in like a 2 or 3 day show. So that really says something. Wow. So thank you again. But obviously there is still tomorrow. I don't think I'm going to film this just because I'm so exhausted and I just want to like get it done. But I am probably going to try and sculpt like a couple things if I can really quickly. And I might try and make some stickers and some sticker sheets for tomorrow. And then after that it'll be, it is what it is type of deal. But that's okay. So yeah, I, again, won't film that, but I'll definitely film tomorrow. I'll show you one last look of the table before we are all finished setting up. And then hopefully I can get some more clips of the actual convention this time. And hopefully the actual hall itself. I'm so sorry I didn't get to show more of that, but it looks really cool in there, actually. I was really worried about being in that furniture store, like the empty furniture store for the convention, but actually it's gone really well. So I really have had a good time. So we'll see what happens tomorrow, but until then, I will see you all in the morning. Almost all set up for day 2, but I'm gonna work on putting together these mini clay mystery bags really quick. That's all I got. One last look before, I think I have about 15 minutes before it officially opens, but yeah. And there's the booth. The view behind the booth. Mom's space. Gotten a little slower, but still pretty good. Managed to sell a couple more clay things. Actually almost added that keychain there. And then did sell out of the Calcifer sticker again. And I sold the first jumbo enamel pin, which that's very exciting. And this is the beginning of the end. They're starting to pack up. It's about 4:30-ish, so yeah, there's only really half an hour left, so especially for the people that live far away, it's easier to just start and get ready now. The vendors even have their own bathroom. Like, what? Should have noticed. So, overall thoughts about this convention itself. I personally always love going to QuadCon. It's very fun, it's local, it's small, but I really like that there's such a good group of people that run the organization, as well as like all the vendors as well. I've never had any issues with them. So to start off, obviously all the people were very sweet. People were really enjoying my art and chatting with me about some of the different fan art or things like that, so that was a lot of fun. And the vendors around me were also very kind. The comic seller that was actually across from me, both of us were tabling solo, so we kind of agreed at the initial start of the convention that if one of us needed to like run off to get food or use the bathroom or something like that, then we would watch each other's table. So super nice, and he was a very nice man too. The artists that were to the right of me, also, they have been at multiple conventions for QuadCon as well that I have been a part of, and they're always very sweet as well. So it's actually a little family. They sell their art and make a lot of things together, so they're just always very sweet. The video game sellers that were to the left of me had also been at a previous show that I've been to and participated in before, but they were also very kind. at the beginning, I will go into this in a little bit, but I kind of got a bigger space than I originally had planned on, and I told them right away, like, oh, I do not need all this space. I have one table, technically 2 tables, and that's really all that I need. I don't have enough stuff to require a 20 by 40 space, so if you need the space, and they were like video game merch, that kind of, you know, seller, like, please feel free to use that space, because better to them use it than me who doesn't. So they were very sweet, and they were very appreciative of that. And they actually also happened to buy some art for me, so that was very sweet too. They obviously did not need to do that, but they really enjoyed my Final Fantasy art. We actually chatted about it quite a bit for when they came over, so they were very nice though. And then the artists that were across the way from me, I don't have their name memorized, I'm so sorry, but they were actually brothers. They were artists as well. Very, very nice. But they also had some very cool art, and they also came and talked to me for a bit. So overall, just a really great group of vendors that were around me. I really enjoyed speaking with everyone. And we also had several repeat customers, which was very sweet. I'm always appreciative when people come back and like recognize me, and they say, oh, I have this or this or this, or like they pull out their keychain or whatever it might have been and they still have it with them. I'm like, oh, you like my art enough to keep it around like that. That's so cool. I know that's probably a little silly, but it really does kind of warm my heart to know that, you know, people really do like my art and they actually, you know, still use it in some way. So that's very cool to me. And then I actually had 2 really large orders that were at $50, like over $50. One where the lady actually purchased one larger clay piece, so that's why it was a little bit more expensive, and then another also fairly large clay piece, and everything totaled up to be over $50. I'm like, oh, hold on, you realize that that's actually, you know, the larger clay piece is like closer to $30. Is that okay? She's like, oh yeah. I'm like, oh, okay. Just want to make sure. And then I had another girl. These were actually, if you saw the clip of the cosplay parade, she was one of the girls that like got so excited about seeing my booth, and she actually came back around and she purchased another large clay item, but I had always heard of them doing this and like the emails and things that they do with QuadCon, the organizers that run it. But I'd never actually seen or technically heard it from any of the other vendors, but normally QuadCon does do like a $50 laminated card, and basically it's like a free $50 that someone can spend at an artist's or vendor's booth. And then obviously you turn it into the organizer and then they give you the $50. And it's just kind of a way to promote and encourage people to buy from whatever artist or vendor. So I actually got that for the first time, and it was so cute and sweet. Again, totally was not expecting it, but at first, like, she didn't know how I had the price tag on it, and I had to tell her what it was just to make sure and confirm with her, and she's like, oh yeah, no, totally fine, because I got this. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Well, if you want to purchase something else so it evens out to be $50, then you can also get this. She's like, yep, that sounds great. So she was also very sweet. So I think everyone was very kind, and I really did appreciate that. I also, there was another really sweet interaction with, it was probably a teenager. I'm assuming in high school, but I don't want to also assume. But he had been talking to this girl recently, and he had shared that he was like trying to progress things and maybe might be interested and being like boyfriend, girlfriend. But he actually was asking for some help, like trying to figure out something for her for Valentine's Day, even though Valentine's Day was technically on the 14th. The convention was on the 15th and 16th. So that was very fun too, just helping him to like try and talk through like what she might like and see if maybe she wanted something like this. And he ended up purchasing one of the little clay cakes, so that was also very cute. And then I also happened to receive 2 offers from different event coordinators for other events, and they were so kind. They actually asked if I would be interested. One of them I had already applied to, and he was like, oh, great. well, then I will definitely keep an eye out for your name. I'm like, oh, cool, very sweet. And the other was for a local horror event that happens in my area. Supposedly, I had not heard it before. I think they had the first year last year, to be fair. But she also happened to give me her information, so that way I could look into it more. So that was very cool, and hopefully I can maybe join in both, but we'll see what happens. But yeah, I will say this was technically the first kind of event. Not really. I've done a lot of events by myself pretty much, but this was really like the first event that I had done solo, like pretty much the whole time. Like I set up, prepped everything by myself, obviously ran the booth by myself the whole time, and then I did have my mom eventually came down. Obviously my dad is still trying to recover from some health issues, and she had pretty much been with him the whole time, which is obviously where she needs to be, but she did help me come to tear down and like pack everything up into the car, so that was very kind of her. But otherwise, other major things are sales. Oh my gosh. So this was truly like a wild event. So technically this was the first time that they had put us in that large, it used to be a furniture store. If you've heard of the Room Place, that actually used to be where the Room Place was in this local mall. And yeah, I didn't know how it was gonna go, because anytime that like an event is kind of secluded off into another room, you're like, oh, well, are people really gonna know where to go? Are they even gonna be able to find things? You know, things like that. So you always get a little bit nervous whenever there's kind of like a, not last minute, but a bit of a room change. But honestly, probably the best sales that I've ever had at an event. So wild. So I basically almost sold out of all of my clay items on the very first day. So I actually, that night you probably saw me, had to make more of them. I sold out of all of my Calcifer stickers twice, on day 1 and on day 2. I almost sold out of all of my flower pot keychains, and I think I maybe only have one left actually. And a lot of the Ghost Cat enamel pins. You guys really love those, so thank you so much. I even had someone purchase the jumbo one. I'm like, oh, I'm so happy because I'm so worried I'm not going to be able to sell through those. So thank you again for that. Mini Mystery Clay Friend bags were also super popular. I sold out on the first day, and then I almost sold out on the second day too, which is wild. And I sold more art prints than I usually do too, which was wild, but really cool. So thank you for that. The new room actually was pretty nice though. It was really bright. There was a good like flow of traffic, because you basically could start like one way or the other, but you pretty much wrapped around the whole room, so you could see pretty much everyone. So I think that it actually worked out really well. They also had a private bathroom for the vendors. Didn't realize it until day 2. That would have been kind of nice. But yeah, it was actually right in the place that we were holding most of the convention anyway, so it was nice to just like zip on over to there. There was actually a sign that said for vendors only, and I think there was a vendor there who also just happened to be keeping an eye on, making sure that, random people didn't wander in there, so that was kind of nice. But yeah, and then obviously, like I'd said before, the coordinators are always super sweet and helpful. I, for some reason, did receive that 20 by 40 space, and I usually only use, well, obviously I'm more used to either, 8-foot space or 10-foot space, so that's why I kind of let the video game retailers that were to the left of me, scooch over and use some of that space, because I really didn't have a need for it. But it was kind of nice to have like lots of room behind me technically, so I could like restock everything pretty easily, or if I had to package something up, any of my clay items, or needed to grab more bags or things like that, it was pretty easy to get to, so that was really nice. And then this was kind of like the first time I had really left some things over. I really brought most of it with me, but I did leave my column with my stickers and everything in it, and honestly I was a little nervous because I've never really left products overnight before, but actually ended up being okay. There were no issues, nothing went missing, so that was very good. They did say they would lock up the room, so that kind of helped. And then otherwise I think kind of got me thinking for, especially in the future in May, when I go to Nightmare Weekend, it'll be important to like probably bring a sheet to cover up the setup, because obviously I'm not gonna be able to probably take everything out of there when the event closes for the night, because I obviously will not be at home. I will need to package everything in other display casings or whatever it might be. So it would just be nice to not have to worry about it and just have everything like be covered with the sheet. So we'll see what happens. So overall, QuadCon was a great time. I really had a lot of fun. The people between the vendors and all of the customers were super sweet. I had great sales, and I definitely hope to return in the summer. So I think that ultimately I am definitely going to be continuing to work on my art, hopefully making some new sticker designs, hopefully maybe cycling out some of my older designs now that I've kind of sold through quite a few of them. Well, not quite a few, a couple of them. And then I'm also hoping to work on some new clay items as well. Hopefully a couple larger pieces still, but definitely some smaller ones too. So that way they're a little bit more reasonable on price point. But otherwise, yeah, I think that I had such a great time. Can't wait to participate again. Definitely next event will be in May for Nightmare Weekend, but hopefully there will be other events lining up in the future as well, hopefully, but we'll see what happens. So thank you so much for watching this one, guys. I really hope that you enjoyed it, and if you did, feel free to leave a like, comment, or subscribe. But until next time, I hope that you all have a wonderful day.